Good morning. I'm running late. I've been running like a crazy woman this morning ever since I got up, and I looked up and realized that it was 9 o'clock. So let me try to get my laptop synced here and catch my breath for a second. Okay, so how are y'all doing this morning? Lisa, how are you, my sweet friend? Good morning to all of you. Oh, goodness. You ever have one of those mornings? I don't understand where my morning went. I was sitting drinking my coffee, and then I thought, oh, I better get up and get dressed. And then before I knew it, I looked at the clock and it said 9 o'clock, and I didn't have my stuff together. So it's going to be a little bit scattered, but I hope y'all will forgive me. Y'all see my necklace? Isn't that pretty? My sister-in-law sent that to me, and I absolutely love it. I have worn it every day since. It's my reminder to me that some days the journey is slow. So anyway, let's get started. I got accused. I guess accused is maybe a harsh word, but somebody commented on my reminder to you last night about the video today that maybe I was being a little over dramatic, and that was not my intent at all. My intent was just to try to pique your curiosity and give you something to think about overnight. So I apologize if I was Esquire-esque. That was not my intent. Let me try to get this adjusted here. Okay. I told you I wanted to talk about bullies and who do we take advice from and who should we be listening to. So I was going to look up the definition of bullying because you know how I am about definitions, but I didn't do that. I didn't take time, and I'm not talented enough to do it and do this at the same time. But bullies, to me, there's the obvious bullying, the ones that are just aggressive and mean and intentional. But sometimes we can be guilty of bullying ourselves. And I know I've done that before. My leader often says in our meetings, if someone came into our Weight Watchers meeting and they were struggling and they said, say they said, I ate pizza for dinner last night and I was up 2 pounds on the scale today. Obviously, I'm a big loser and I just can't do this. If you were sitting near them in the meeting and they said that, you would not look at them and say, well, you're right. You can't do this. I don't even know why you're trying. You're just a loser and you should just quit today and go do something else. But we do that to ourselves all the time. If someone came to you and said, I'm really struggling. I'm really having a hard time. I just need some encouragement. I need somebody to help me figure out what I need to do, or, what's causing me so much angst in my journey. You wouldn't lash out at them. You would more than likely be compassionate and try to lift them up and empathize with them and encourage them, but we don't do that to ourselves. We bully ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We look at the worst in our own journey. We tend to be much more willing to be compassionate with a stranger than we are with ourselves. So my challenge for you this week is stop bullying you. Be your own friend. Be your own encourager. Be your own motivator. Be your own accountability partner. Nobody else can hold you accountable like you can hold you accountable. Nobody else knows what you really ate but you. Nobody else knows what is discouraging you like you do. Now, having said that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out for help. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking someone to be your accountability partner or to help encourage you. And that's what I love so much about the Weight Watchers meetings is whether you attend a meeting that has 10 people or if your meetings have 50 or 60 people, there are people there that want to encourage each other because they relate. My leader said the other day that when you are struggling is when you need the meetings the most. When you are doing well is when the meetings need you, because someone in that meeting is struggling and they need to hear your words of encouragement. Same is true in our Facebook group. If you are having a really rough week, you need us to come alongside you and hold your hand and help encourage you along the way. If you're having a really good week, you need to be the one holding someone's hand and walking alongside them. So no bullying this week, whether that's it was certainly no bullying someone else, but no bullying yourself this week. If you catch yourself doing it, stop in the moment and tell yourself, no bullying. Not today, not this week, not going to listen to it. Who do you listen to? Well, I find it amusing, and I'm sure some of you do too, when someone asks a question on the board, the huge variety of answers they get. Now, oftentimes, I hope you'll notice that I try to preface my answers with my opinion is, or I have found what works for me, or I believe the answer is, because I don't know everything. I don't have all of the answers to all of life's questions. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you, do A, B, and C, and you'll lose 2.2 pounds this week. But I can't do that. I can't even do that with my own self because there are so many factors involved. Somebody will post on the board, I gained 1.2 pounds this week. What did I do wrong? And immediately people will start saying, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. We don't know. We don't know what you did wrong. First of all, there's so much that could affect. We don't know what you ate. We don't know how much you ate. We don't know how much you drank or how little you drank. We don't know if you had any movement involved. We don't know if your stress level was unusually high this week. There are so many factors involved. So before we jump in and tell someone you're eating too much or you're eating too little or you're eating too much fruit or you're not eating enough vegetables, let's remember that they may take what you say as the gospel, and you may not be right. I may not be right. So be very careful who you listen to. I'm always fascinated by people who will take the advice for their Weight Watchers journey from someone who hasn't proven that they have Weight Watchers down. I want to hear from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I want to hear from somebody who has walked the walk and talked the talk, and they know what they're talking about. That's who I want the advice from. That doesn't mean that a new person can't share their experience with me. I love to hear that. I love when new people doing Weight Watchers come and say, you know, this is what I did this week and I had a really good week. I want to hear all about it. But be very careful who you're taking your advice from, especially when it comes to food. Perfect example. The 3-2-1 mug cake, not the one that Weight Watchers sells prepackaged, but the one we make at home. How many times in the history of our board, little over a year old, how many times have you seen someone will post the recipe for the 3-2 mug cake and say it's 2 points, or it's 1 point, or it's 3 points? And you know, those of us who have been doing this will come along and say, it's really not. I'm really sorry, but that's an old Weight Watchers plan. That's an old point system, but it's really much higher. So be very careful who you're taking recipe advice from. I always encourage you, check yourself. Put your recipe in the recipe builder, you do it, and then you know for sure how many points you're eating. Don't trust someone else's, including me. Don't trust someone else's calculation. It's your body, it's your journey, it's your points. You protect your own points. You wouldn't give someone else the PIN number to your bank account, so don't give them the power over your Smart Points budget. You be responsible for that. So who do we listen to? Listen to yourself. Listen to the science behind Weight Watchers. Listen to your body and listen to the scale, because those are the only ones you can really absolutely positively count on. Everybody else has good intentions, and sometimes will have good information, but oftentimes their information is outdated, or maybe slightly off, or maybe they used a different ingredient than you're using. And so be very careful about that. But you be the guardian of your Smart Points account. Don't give your PIN number to somebody else and then get frustrated when the scale tells you a different story. What is the points of 3-2-1 in freestyle? It hasn't changed. Nothing went up in point value on freestyle. So whatever it was before, it will still be the same now. I did a video on the 3-2-1 cake several months ago. I did it with a sugar-free cake mix and a regular cake mix. I'd have to go back and look, but I have never been able to get the point value of that cake less than, I don't think I've got it less than 5 points per serving for the sugar-free. And if it's not sugar-free, it's even more. Is it worth it? Sometimes it is, but I just don't want people to eat it every night thinking that they're eating 2 or 3 points and then be very disappointed when they have a gain. That's just one of the things that I've seen. Same thing with blended fruit. Some people don't count the points in blended fruit. Some people do count the points. That's on you. You have to decide whether or not you subscribe to that theory. And if you eat very little blended fruit and you don't want to count it, that's you. But don't tell somebody else that they shouldn't count it when that's really not your call. That's theirs. Linda says eating it, thinking it was 3 points. I know, Linda, I did the same thing. I had it every night for I don't even know how long, thinking I was eating a 3-point cake. And when I put it through the recipe builder, I literally measured out the cake mix by tablespoon to see how many servings I was going to get out of that, and put it in the recipe builder, and it wasn't anywhere close to 3 points. I hate to bust your bubble. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's it. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you take advice from. And by all means, don't bully yourself. You deserve better. Don't treat yourself any different, any worse than you would treat someone else coming alongside you asking for help. Okay. My product of the week is and I think I've shared this one with y'all before, but it's not a food-related product. It's a skincare, 2 skincare products I'm going to tell you real quick, and then I'm going to tell you that I'm going to spend just about 5 minutes going through. I had several of you private message asking me about makeup, and I'm just going to show you a few things. I'll tell you when I'm about to start that, so if you're not interested at all in makeup, you can close your video down and you don't have to be bored with it. But my 2 products that I'm going to tell you about, I love this stuff. And I don't get anything for this. I'm not selling it. I'm just showing you what I like. This is by Gold Bond, and it's neck and chest firming cream. It's the ultimate, and it's 2 ounces. And I think I bought it at Walgreens or maybe even Walmart. I don't know. Nothing special. I put this on my neck and my chest area at night after I do my skincare routine and my serums, and I think I'm seeing a pretty good difference with this in the crepiness of the skin in my neck. Then after I rub it in, whatever's left, I rub it into the back of my hands, and I definitely am seeing a difference in the crepey, old lady hand skin issues on the back of my hands. So Gold Bond neck and chest firming cream. It wasn't expensive at all. I don't remember. I've had this one for several months now, but I don't think I paid more than $10 for it at the store. The other thing I'm a firm believer in, and I get this from Time, I think the website is Timeless, TIMELESSHA.com. This is a bottle of 20% C+E+Ferulic acid serum. It's clear, and it's in a dark bottle because it'll change if you're not careful. It comes with a dropper, and when it gets old, it turns yellow, and then it's not working anymore. But after I wash my face at night and put a toner on, then I put about half a syringe of this in my hand, pat it in my face and on my neck and chest, and I love this stuff. I really would not be without a vitamin C serum, and this just has C and E, and E is really good for your skin. So you can get this really expensive other places, but this company's is much more affordable, and I keep it around all the time. That's that. Okay, I'm going to just show you. So if you aren't interested in makeup, you can stop watching now. Please don't, post and tell me you don't care, because you've been warned. And I'm going to go through this real fast. I change makeup a lot. I love makeup, and so I'm always looking for fun things. I have some that's high-end. I have some that's, drugstore. I'm not loyal to anyone. I'm always looking for the perfect foundation. I like matte full coverage because I have freckles and I have age spots, and I don't like for those to show, so I'm always on the hunt for that. But I'm just going to show you real quick some things that I use, and then you do you. If you like it, great. If not, or if you have something else you want to recommend, you cannot sell skincare and makeup products on our Facebook group, so please don't do that. It will get deleted, and if you do it more than once, you will get deleted. If we were going to sell it, I'd sell it, and I'm not going to, and so you're not going to. Anyway, that's it. The primer that I use under my foundation right now that I'm really liking is by Dr. Brandt. It's in a tube like this, and it's called Luminizer primer, and it's Pores No More. As we age, the pores in our skin get larger, and so makeup and powder settles in that, and it just doesn't look pretty. So I put this on first. I rub it all over. I especially concentrate around my nose and here and my chin where the pores are more visible. I let that settle in. The foundation that I'm using today, although I like one by L'Oreal that's drugstore just as much, but the one I'm using today just happens to be by Lancome. Looks like this, and it is, I couldn't even pretend to pronounce it, but it's a lift makeup, and it's dirty, but it's in a pump, and that's the one I like. I put my foundation on with a brush, and then I use a beauty blender to press it in where I have the issue with my pores. I let that settle in under my eyes. Today, I'm using this Color Corrector by Sephora. I put a couple of dots under my eyes, and then this is a YSL concealer not loyal to it. I just happened to have that one and I liked it. I pat that in with my fingers and I let it set, and then I do powder. My powder is cheap. It's, who is it by? Maybelline. And it's a matte poreless powder. I do that all over. This is my favorite blush right now. It's by Tarte. I think I got it at Ulta. It'll last me forever. Probably paid $20 for it, if that, but that $20 will last me forever. Not suggesting at all that you have to spend a lot of money on makeup, because you don't. There's some really, really good low-end makeups out there. These just happen to be the ones that I'm using right now. One of my favorite compacts for eyeshadow is also by Tarte, and it's Tartelette in Bloom. And if I can do this without blinding you, it's just got some really neutral, warm colors, and so I like that one. I also like, this is the one that I carry in my purse when I'm traveling, and it's by Smashbox, and it just has some, you know, pretty neutral colors. The thing I have found with foundation is sometimes the cheaper ones don't have really good pigment in it, and so or it has a lot of fallout, so I tend to spend a little bit more on foundations than I do on on my eyeshadows than I might on powder or something else, just because if I'm going to put it on, I want it to stick. Kat Von D, I love her eyeshadows. They are so pigmented, it's just not even funny. This palette, I don't even know what it's called. Shade and Light. And it has 3 different sets of colors, and they last, and it just doesn't take much. I've had that same palette for probably 4 years, and I'm not even close to being halfway through with it. Let's see. I use the Voluminous Smoldering Eyeliner by Loreal. I do my waterline with that. Right now, I'm liking the Tarteist Mascara, but I also like the old pink and green. Is it Maybelline? Can't remember the name of it, but I love that one. I like NYX Lingerie Lip Gloss lipstick because it lasts. I drink coffee and I drink water all day, and this lasts. So I'm a firm believer in that. The other little gadget that I'll share with you real quick, and then I'm going to let you go, is by, I got this at Sephora. It's a makeup brush cleaner. It's just a little, looks like this, has a little spongy, kind of like a Brillo pad in there. And while I'm doing my eyeshadow, I rub the brushes along that. And if you think it doesn't work, this is going to be gross, but let me show you. Take this thing out. I haven't emptied it in a week or so. Can you see all that fallout in there? That all came off of my brushes. So if you know, I just keep this on my table, and as I'm doing my eyeshadow, I rub my brushes on it and get all the extra off. And then, you know, every month or 6 weeks, I clean my makeup brushes and get all of the germs and gross stuff off of them. It's kind of therapy. I just stand at the sink and, you know, wash my brushes. But we need to take care of our inner body like we take care of our outer body. And nothing makes me feel better than to, you know that that I've got myself made up and feel like I love, you know, it just makes you feel good. When you feel like you look good, it makes you feel good, and you carry yourself better, and just makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves. There's so many things in life that we can't do anything about, but we can, the areas that I try to. Okay, let me see if I can answer some of your questions real quick, and see if I can see these. I'm having so much computer issues lately with this, so, and the moderators are chatting. The box keeps popping up. Love the idea of the brush cleaner. I love my brush cleaner because I use the same brushes over and well, I didn't show you that. These are my go-to. I have a ton of brushes, but I use a flat brush to put on the eyeshadow all over. I use this brush, which is so old I don't even know where I got it, but it's my favorite, and I use that to put my eyeshadow in the crease. And then I use this one or one very similar to it to blend, and you know, and then I use this one which is just, I don't know if you can tell that, it's just a little smaller to put under my eye or right in the edge. So anyway, very important to keep your brushes clean. They carry bacteria and stuff, plus they just have that color on it. So if I used greens today and then tomorrow I'm wearing pinks, I don't want that green eyeshadow still on there. So that's just an easy way to clean it. Let's see, what else? Let me look at your messages real quick and see if I can see through some of these. I always have a hard time with the color of foundation to buy. My skin is light. What color do you use? I'm very fair complected. To have darker hair, my Lancome, this one is 320 C25W, whatever that means in Lancome. I almost always buy, if I buy at the drugstore where I can't try it on first, I almost always buy Ivory. I can darken my foundation with blush and bronzer and contour, but I don't want it to look too dark. I'd much rather it be a little bit too light and me need to, you know, to warm it up a little bit. So I almost always, if it's drugstore, I go with Ivory. If it's, you know, if it's at the store, then I ask them to match it. What was the name of the neck cream again? It's Gold Bond Ultimate Neck and Chest Firming Cream. Love this stuff. Very, very, very good. Name of the large eyeshadow case. I'm guessing it's this one. Kat Von D, Shade and Light. I think I bought it at Sephora 4 or 5 years ago, and it has, you know, three different palettes of colors that you can use. So you could get away with just this palette easily. Let's see what else. My eyebrows. I had 3 years ago. They were turning gray. They were getting sparse. They were getting thin. Plus, I'm a child of the 70s, you know, where we plucked our eyebrows to like a ridiculously thin line and they just didn't grow back. So about 3 years ago, as a gift to myself, I had my eyebrows microbladed, which is where they kind of tattoo hair strokes in to fill in where they were sparse. And I'll move my bangs out of the way, and I don't know if I'm moving close enough if you can see. But they're kind of tattooed on, and I would do it all over again. I think it's one of the best investments I ever did, and I would, if you're interested, find somebody good in your area that gets really good reviews, or ask your hair salon if they know somebody. But did it hurt? No. They numb, and it took about an hour, and I go back every couple of years and have it touched up, and so I enjoy it, and that way I don't have to mess with my eyebrows every day. They always look the same. What's the name of the pore reducer and other skincare products? The pore reducer, I'm guessing this is what you're asking about. This is the primer that I put on before my foundation, and it's Dr. Brandt, B-R-A-N-D-T, Pores No More primer. And I just, it's kind of a, it's, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can put a little bit on my finger. It's kind of a, looks like that. And I just rub it between my fingers and pat it into where I have pores issues around my nose, around here, and on my chin. It has no color. It just is a good base for your foundation, makes it. Cost of the eyebrows, I think I paid $150 when I had them done originally, and then I go back every 2 years, and it's about $75 to have them touched up and redone. And it, you know, that I don't know what it would cost in your area, but that's what the lady that I use does, and she is phenomenal. I think she does a great job. The other skincare product that I shared with you was Timeless, HA.com. Vitamin 20% C+E+Ferulic acid serum. Let me move it in and see if you can see this. I order it online. I think it's $20-something, and the bottle will last me about 3 months. Linda says, I'm going, I hate my brows. Linda, I kid you not, it was the best investment I ever did. I love the microbladed brows because they look natural. You know, the old way of tattooing on eyebrows, and it was very obvious that that's what you had done. I didn't like that at all, and I was very hesitant to do that, but these don't. These look very natural, and I really enjoy it. So I will tell you, I started yesterday a skincare routine. I'm not going to tell you the brand because I don't want people jumping on board trying to sell it. But I took before pictures, and I'm going to do it for 90 days, and then I'll let you know what I think about it, and I'll show you. The before picture's ugly, but I'll show you a before and after picture. I'm focusing on this with this skincare routine, so I'll let you know how that goes. If it does what it did for my daughter, then I'll be a firm believer. She's obviously much younger, but her side-by-side before and after pictures was amazing. So stick with me for 90 days, and I'll let you know if it works. And I think that's it. Be kind to yourself this week. Be nice to yourself. No bullying. And be careful who you listen to. If you have any questions, you can private message me, or I'll try to go through the comments on the thread and answer any questions that I can. And, you know, if this just bored you to tears and you don't ever want to hear about it again, you can let me know that too. Just do it nicely. Don't bully. And but I was just trying to answer a bunch of your questions about what makeup do I use all at once. And I think that's it. I will talk to you later, and I'll see you on the board. Bye.